Ladies and gentlemen, on the line, I have Corell Thomas. Tell everybody where you grew up.
I'm from San Diego, California, man. Southeast San Diego, the Lincoln Park area.
Tell everybody what your upbringing was like.
Growing up in Southeast San Diego, it's urban neighborhood, gang infested. And, unlike Los Angeles, California, where a lot of individuals around in this part of town is from, we have open space, so we have larger areas. In the 80s, you had the crack epidemic, like everywhere else, and it turned our streets into chaos and confusion and disruption. Like I was saying, my mom being a single parent, she got hooked on crack cocaine. And as a youngster, it was hard because, me and my two little brothers oftentimes, because of her, her addiction.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We went without and we suffered, but back then, we didn't have no answers as youngsters, and we had to do the best we can to survive, and I joined the gang, I joined the gang at the age of 12, got jumped in and thought that, hanging around with that type of crowd at that time, it was the only sense of normalcy that I could find around, but embarrassment and shame came along with that too, because everybody in this apartment complex, we lived in this large apartment complex called Bay Vista. I think they changed the name of it to Sea Breeze now, and it was good 500 plus apartments in this big complex, and people seeing what was going on, and we didn't have no idea at that time what effect it was going to have on us. We did the best we could, reaching out to family members for help. Some families, my grandparents, when they were alive, they passed on now, they would help out. But anybody that would help out, as soon as my mom found out about it, she was on them. So it was just hard.
80s was an interesting place, interesting time, I should say, especially to be involved in gangs. Now, is it safe? Can you tell everyone where you're from? I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm thinking LPB.
Yeah, Lincoln Park.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was, raised in the Lincoln Park area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us, what that was like, man. Just, what made you say, I'm gonna take this step and just and join this set.
I got this saying that I say now, we all we got. And there was guys that I went to elementary school, Knox Elementary, that's where I graduated from. We all hung together, and our parents, most of our parents were doing pretty much the same thing. There was a couple of guys whose parents was working, but we found ourselves hanging with each other every day. And then, navigating throughout the neighborhood, we would see our older homies or the older guys out there, doing their thing, and we wanted to emulate that and be just like them. But, with hindsight being what it is now, I mean, I understand we found comfort in one another, going through the same thing and leaning on each other at young ages and just being around each other. We decided we wanted to be a part of this bigger group. We wanted to be a part of the Lincoln Park Blood. And we did that. It was all we had at the time, and we found what we thought was peace, what we thought was friendship, what we thought was loyalty, what we thought was a brotherhood, as we idolized those that came before us. But it turned out to be, you know, much different than what we thought.
What was the next few years like for you as an active member of Lincoln Park?
As an active member, we had the guys from Bay Vista Apartments. We go across the Sololo apartment, and hang with homies, fight other homies. When we graduated from the sixth grade, Knox Elementary, it was a it was a it was a thing to see who was the toughest to go to the crip school, Gompers. We all would see who was down to travel about 4 miles from our neighborhood across to their neighborhood, and 9 times out of 10 we would walk. And we learned real quick that what an enemy was. If we didn't know, we really figured it out, because every day after school they had their big homies, which was about 18, 19, 20 years old, up to about 23, waiting on us when we got out of school. And we had to fight. We had to fight past them and fight all the way down, probably about a mile and a half, before they would let us go. And that was like every day. That was my introduction to the enemy. That was my introduction to fighting someone other than the people that I knew. That was my introduction to us versus them type of mentality.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, you are currently sitting on death row. What led you to being locked up?
Today I can say that growing up in a household, a dysfunctional household, I seen my stepmother, jumping on my mom. I seen fights. I seen a lot of street fights and that type of activity. And I grew to believe that type of activity and then being in the gang was normal. We normalized it. Criminal thinking, criminal activity. We normalized it. So, what we call being proving ourselves and proving we were down and assaulting other people and packing them out, so to speak,